Today's video, we're going to talk about how to start a Google Ads account or campaign as profitable as possible. There is plenty of things you can do to narrow in on the most profitable part of Google Ads for your business. And that is the same thing if you're talking about shopping or PMAX campaigns, search campaigns, YouTube, demand gen, all of which I'm going to talk about in today's video. So what mistake most people do when it comes to running Google Ads is they run their stuff way too broad right at the beginning. Why? Because either they don't know any better or they're in a rush to do it. And as a result of that, they're going after all these people that, if they really were to sit down and logically think through things, that they know is not very likely to get a customer, that if they just cut all that stuff out in the beginning, started super narrow with their targeting and approach, they'd actually be successful right away, and they wouldn't, stomp their feet and quit out of frustration because it's not working fast enough. Everybody wants their stuff to work super quick. Very few people want to actually think about their campaign setup, put the proper time and research into it so it actually does work right away, or as soon as freaking humanly possible, that is. So it still may take a month or 2 or 3 months to get profitability with an ad campaign, for sure, but it doesn't have to take 6 to 12 months if you're just smart about your targeting. I'm going to go through, for each one of these campaign types, how to narrow the targeting so you actually end up getting the type of ROI you want short-term from it. So you make money, you don't run out of money before you get to profitability, and you can live to advertise another day and get, to where you don't fall short of getting to the goal where you're eventually making millions of dollars a year running this for your business. Hitting profitability, because once you hit profitability, you should be jumping up or down for joy, because ultimately it's an easy game after that. All you're doing is taking your data, taking what's working, doing more of it, what's not working, doing less of it, and your ads just keep making more and more money. Which is why, even though, and I talk about on this channel, even if it takes you a year for a campaign to be profitable, it's worth it, because what you make on year 8 is going to pay for everything you lost in year 1, plus a ton more on top of that. So in the longer term you think about things, the more it makes sense to lose money on your campaign up front. But if you really I have a few $1,000s, that's all I got to spend, and I got to make it work with that few thousand or I'm out of business. Well, this is how you can actually do it. The volume of sales, of course, will also be less initially, but your losses will also be less with the strategy I'm going to talk about here. So with that said, I'll go through what these methods are for each platform individually that Google Ads allows you to advertise on. So Google, and then YouTube, and then Display Network, and so forth is also covered here. Before I do though, if you do not know who I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients management fees until we can get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability up front, basically in excess of the management fees that we charge. We are the only agency out there which offers any kind of guaranteed results on their campaigns, which should tell you something about the quality of the information and the actions and the services that we provide at our agency along with that. So with that said, getting into it. Now, Google needs data to optimize campaigns. That's the very first thing you should know going into running any new campaign, and especially with a new account. They don't know you from Adam. They ultimately need to understand who it is buys from you, who doesn't, so they can really steer the ads in the direction of where your buyers are. And you also obviously need to have it as an advertiser to make money. Practically speaking, you advertise in the beginning, there's 10% of it that ultimately has your customers, but you don't know the 10% right when you start, to put it in practical terms here. Then on top of that, you should also know that Google needs data to test and benchmark you as an advertiser in and itself. So they don't know how to run your ads by default. Why? Because most people who come into Google Ads think they're going to spend 15 minutes setting up their campaign and get instantly rich. And if they don't get instantly rich, they stomp their feet and they say, Google's a scam and I'm going to run off and F Google and everything else. And the reality is, if it were that easy to make money, everybody would do it. Everybody would set up a little website, start a Google campaign, boom, they're rich. Then there wouldn't be anybody to work shitty jobs at McDonald's and all this other stuff. Ultimately, Google, because they know people are like this, they treat you like a piece of crap at the beginning. They're going to run your ads. They're going to charge you a ton of money, But more importantly, they're going to not have your ads show up in front of the people that are the most likely to buy prospects, because they kind of know this going in. What part of the traffic that types in divorce lawyer is profitable versus which part of it is tire kickers? And the people that have been there a long time, that Google knows how their ads work, how their websites work, how their landing pages work, how they are as a business, do they get bad reviews or not? And compared to all the people that came before them, how they stack up, and therefore what will give users a good experience so they want to click on ads in the future, making Google money in the future. They're going to give that person who's been doing it a long time and they know inside and out how their ads run and that they're better than the competition, 95% of the good quality traffic, okay? And the part of the traffic that doesn't convert, they're going to give it to you, the new guy. And they could say, so people get confused. They think, well, if I show up for divorce lawyer, I'm done here. No, that's not at all how it works. They're going to sub-segment, 5,000 people a month that search for divorce lawyer in your city every month into 5,000 subcomponents and look at who searches for it, why they search for it, what they've done in the past, what they bought in the past, and then they can statistically figure out who is likely to buy the actual service, who's not. And they're going to give the good traffic to the advertiser who does a great job as a way to encourage them to stick around, to provide better experiences to their users as a whole. And the person who's new, they're going to give you, but they will give you a tiny bit of good traffic to see if you can actually convert or get an ad click-through rate higher than their favorite guy already. And if you can, they'll push the existing guy that they love the most out of the way. But it won't happen for quite a while. You'll have to spend money up front to get that 5% of the traffic that's actually legit, for them to see that it's working for you. Give you a little bit more, give you a little bit more, give you a little bit more. And then eventually after 6-12 months of advertising, they kind of pretty much know that you're better than the competition. But you're still not getting all the benefit yet. You're 18-24 months into the process. Now they're laying it thick. You are their favorite. But you have to pay your way into the system. A lot of people don't like that. They just want their ads to work right away. But anything in life that's easy or cheap to get into that makes money is not going to be worth anything unless you're the only person who knows about it, which everybody knows about Google ads. So the only people that make the millions are the people that do more to make their ads and landing pages better. You can't show up and just do what you think is the bare minimum anymore and make money with it. Go all the way or don't go with it at all, because Google does not care to have you as a customer if you're not bringing anything to the table that they don't already have. 90% of your results is predicated on your past data. That is how your ads stack up physically against the other ads and landing pages that are advertising on Google Search Now, or if you're talking about display ads, YouTube ads, and the people that are in your industry also advertising / other industries getting the user's attention at a higher rate you are as well. So that they're, again, with even a YouTube ad, they're trying to figure out who likes your ads the most, because those are the ads they want to show, and they can gauge that by how long you watch, did you click the thumbs up button, and so forth. They really, really, really have changed the way that it works now. You either have the best ads, best landing pages, or you don't make any money. They don't care about your money if you're not going to help their users get a good experience. So they want to click on ads more and more in the future. Otherwise, Google knows they're going to be irrelevant in time, only showing the ads of the person that has the most money. And literally, we've had a situation, just to give you one random example here, we had a printer toner company that sold printer toner, right? Anybody can do this. The guy was running his ad for a decade already at the time that we were doing this. We decided to throw up a second website. We were using the model where I talked about if you're going to throw up a second website in your space, have one website where you're selling at a premium price, one website where you're selling at a lesser price, if you will. And then with that said, it gets the people who want premium to buy premium because they think price shows quality. And then the people that just really all the cheap skates, they're going to buy from the other website. And you advertise in both and you make the most money that way overall. Okay? We did this. We threw everything that was in the one account into a brand new account, and the results were less than 5% of the results we were able to get with the 10-year account already. And it's all just down to the data. Data is all that basically matters with Google Ads anymore. You're not going to make any money when you're brand new unless you have something that people already know they want and you're the only one offering it, or almost no one else offers it. And in that case, Google just gives it all to you right away. But if you have to fight your way into the placements of where the customers are, good luck trying to get it to work right away. And in fact, you're pretty much just throwing your money into a big bonfire or flushing it down the toilet, whatever you want to say, trying to do that. You know, people all the time at our firm are almost going out of business and they want, you know, they say, I need to get this work like this week. It's like, dude, you waited too long to get this to work. You're done. Just close up your shop, get a job, save your money, start another business in a couple of years because you're done. You're cooked. It's not going to work that fast. If you're talking about shopping or PMAX campaigns, now that you understand the basics of everything you need to know to get ads to work right away, data is what matters. If you're running a shopping campaign or PMAX to run shopping placements, which I've talked about all the time on this channel about how these so-called feed-only setups of PMAX to run shopping placements so that your ad only shows up on the shopping placements, not anyplace else via that PMAX campaign. Your best bet would be with that to get it to work as soon as possible would be to run only your best sellers. And of course, a lot of you guys don't have a business that's been going that long. But if you have, just find the top 1 or 2 or 3 products that you sell that are selling the best. Why are you going to market all of them right away? And spread the data out between all the products so that it takes 15 times as long for Google to figure out what a certain product can do and that it should displace somebody in the search engine itself. So that's specifically what you're going to want to do there. And then when that makes money, do the second most profitable and just keep rolling them out like a conveyor belt, like, you know, in terms of, okay, this one made money, was bringing the second most profitable, third most profitable. So you want to run a study up front and identify which one you want to run first. Then when that makes money, plowing that money you're making into getting the data on the second one going into the third. And that's going to get you a profit much quicker, not in terms of margin, much quicker, and with a higher margin much quicker than advertising all your products at once. Even though you may only be able to spend $50 a month on that product, at least the product will be profitable. If you got a ton of money, you don't want to do this. But if you only have $1,000 to get your ads to work or you're out of money, this is the way that you want to do it. If we're talking about search campaigns now, the key to get it to work right away is to run only near me terms. If you're talking about a local business, wheelchairs near me, cleaning services near me. Why? Because near me terms are the best. Nearby would be a second closest, you know, like pretty much just as good. And so just run, if you own a cleaning service, run all the terms like cleaning services near me, cleaning companies near me, and just those terms and nothing but those terms. Once you make money from those terms already, plow part of what you're making into the next set of keywords and so forth. Versus what most people, I should say, will do mostly is they'll have 5 or 10 keywords in there all set on broad match, and because they don't know any better, they're too lazy to set up campaigns like I talk about on this channel. And then they'll just show up for a bunch of random crap, people looking how to clean, what are cleaning chemicals that work, all this weird shit that Google loves to make you spend your money on. And your campaign profitability will be almost nothing at the beginning. Versus you could just go after the most profitable traffic whatsoever that's there to go after and start making money right away, practically speaking. On top of that, you would only want to run them in exact match. Don't give me this crap about how broad match is so great because some other gurus were talking about it, or even, you know, Google telling you this, or Google reps, because it's not the case. Broad match, it's propaganda. It's either agencies that don't want to work very hard telling you that they're great, and it's the best way to advertise, or it's Google trying to get you to do it because you waste a ton of money. If you want to know the most efficient way to advertise, it's exact match only, and I don't care. If anybody wants to debate me on this, I'll go head to head with you and I'll set up a campaign. We'll see who makes more money quickest. I'll bet $10,000 that I win every freaking time. It's logical. How could you possibly make more money advertising for a bunch of random stuff that may be related to what you do and maybe it's not, versus telling Google at least, even though exact match won't only have you show up for the keyword itself, it's a lot closer than broad match, and why would you start with broad match? Anyway, with that said, just near me terms and just exact match, which if you're not a local service company, a local product company, then you can do buy terms. So if you're doing e-commerce, buy pottery wheels. pottery wheels for sale. Both of those are very, very, very good, and it's the cream of the crop of what you can target. And then again, exact match only to start. If you are a national service company, then you're going to want to do the agency, firms, services, companies. In other words, web design agency, web design firms, web design services. So they have to use a buying suffix at the end of the keyword. Just those. Just only those, an exact match. And that is it. The farther you get away from that, by the way, in the national services space, if you're in, which most of it has to do with business to business, selling to businesses, the less money you're going to make, because that's the only thing that works. And for that matter, if you don't use that, trying to target web design as a keyword, you're going to show up for a million other things that have nothing to do with web design services, and you're not going to make any money. So that is basically a requirement anyway. But that's specifically what you're going to want to do with search campaigns itself. And to add to that, your landing pages, you want a landing page that you make just for the campaign itself as well. And if you really want it to work fast, set up a unique landing page for every variation of every single keyword and an ad for every single keyword. So that you're targeting 10 near me terms, and the terms are cleaning services near me, cleaning companies near me, services in the ad if it's the cleaning services variant, keyword variant, and if they said cleaning companies near me, you want cleaning companies in the ad, and you want the landing page to say cleaning company as well. So with near me, by the way, you don't want to say near me. You put in the ad, if the keyword's cleaning services near me, you put cleaning services near you. They go to the landing page. The landing page says cleaning service near you. There's a lot of people who will dispute that this is the most effective way to do things, but people want relevant ads. People want relevant landing pages. This hasn't changed for 20 plus years that Google Ads has been around. It's not going to change for the next 20 years either, probably. I want to say nothing's certain in this world about what's going on, but for that matter, that's how you get the most bang for your buck out of your ad spend up front possible. And the more you deviate from that, the less your return is going to be. And so you cannot cry about your return if you aren't doing this stuff, practically speaking. There are some weird situations where the landing page won't do well when the headline of the landing page doesn't, matches the keyword, but that's like 2% of the time. Want to throw that general disclaimer in there. So that's search campaigns. Then when you're talking about YouTube now, for YouTube campaigns, the number one best way to make the most money the soonest with a YouTube campaign, which very few people still know about YouTube. They Facebook ads in 2009. Nobody knows about it yet still. It's super, super profitable. People say it doesn't work because they go with a half-ass, lazy-ass approach where they just throw like a TV commercial in there and they expect people to buy, and they target everybody, and it's all this. You got to target very specific people that are in market for your product or service already, or should be, and with a very specific pitch. Do this. Here's why. And that's how you make money. So with that said, you set up a YouTube campaign with the drive conversions campaign objective. When you set it up, you're going to use custom intent audiences, one audience per ad group. So if you are targeting, let's say you are selling toolboxes, okay, for e-commerce, what you're going to do is you're going to create a custom intent audience, which you could watch my other video about custom intent audiences. You could search for it on my channel homepage if you want in the search bar, or just Google it. You set up a custom intent audience and you tell Google, I want to target people that match people that go to this particular competitor's website. And that's who I want to target. Then you set up another audience targeting the other competitor, and then the other competitor, then the other competitor. And then furthermore, if you sell toolboxes, you want to target people who have recently searched for it with a custom intent audience, buy toolboxes, quality toolboxes for sale, these so-called buying terms as well. And you just target these people exclusively by itself, and that is it, and just that, okay? Furthermore, by the way, in some markets, there's channels, whole entire YouTube channels dedicated to your competitor stuff. I recommend, as a side, setting up another YouTube campaign with the campaign objective awareness, and then just target those competitors' YouTube channels. I would actually do that first before, doing the custom intent audiences, but those are the things that basically work with YouTube, and you should stick to that. And your ad needs to speak to that user's concerns directly. In the case with the toolbox, what are we going to say why our toolbox is better? We know they're in market for a toolbox. Why is ours better? Why us? Why now? Okay? Toolbox is better because it's higher quality. And see here, look, we're standing in the drawer. It doesn't break. This toolbox is better because our metal is thicker. Here's our competitors. Here's ours. You can see the competitors bends. Ours does not. Ultimately, you know the person's in market for your product. The only reason why you're not getting sales is because you can't explain why it's better. And if you can't say why it's better, then close up your freaking business and start something else. I mean, legitimately, you can't find anything to sell or do where you're not legitimately better than the competition in some way, or you make it up. If you are a mortgage broker, guarantee the lowest rates. And if you don't have the lowest rates, do it anyway. And just say, we'll give you a free gift card if we don't have the lowest rate. And you give out some, but you get a bunch of people to come to your website and inquire because you're actually doing something that's not lame as hell. You cannot interrupt people and be like, yep, we have toolboxes, come to our website, and expect to make any money. And that's what most people do and why they don't make any money with it. So you have to have a fantastic ad, perfectly and purposely created just for YouTube to get it to work. You can't repurpose the website video that you have now so you can save some money. No, you got to make it exactly for that YouTube campaign. And if you want to get particularly technical about this, when you're going to target the competitors, specifically people that have been to your competitor's website through these custom intent audiences, you target by competitor. You put into a spreadsheet why you're better than each competitor. You make a custom video for each one. We're better than this competitor because their product sucks in this way, and our product doesn't have that, and here's specifically how much better it is, and you target them with individual videos for each competitor, which we've done in that space before. And it doesn't have to be just product that way. It could be services as well. For services, we do less targeting the competitors, and more so we just target people who we know are going to be in market for our service in general. For instance, looking for people that are looking for a fractional CFO, fractional CFO. We certainly just want people who are looking for how to find financial fraud in your company, ways to protect yourself against it. And then we have a video that says, the best way to protect against financial fraud is to have a fractional CFO checking over your books periodically. And that's a similar campaign to what we did before as well. So anyway, you've got to get super specific about what you're doing, but the easiest way is just to target your competitors with a video that says why you're better than the competitors, or you target people who have searched for keywords on Google or YouTube search, which is both done through the custom intent audiences you can set up, that have recently said they were looking to buy a product. And then once you've done that, then maybe you can start getting into people that may be a good fit for your product itself, but you got to kind of like bridge the gap between where they're at and something else. And I won't get into this because the video will go on too long. But the competitors are number one, and people looking to buy your product or service are number two. Then from there, if you're selling psychiatry services, you target people who say they have depression, and you try to get them to convert over to an actual lead like you would want. That's the formula right there. You make custom videos for each competitor / a video for people that are in market for the product saying why you're better. And you watch my video about how to use a YouTube ad script that'll work every time. I got a video specifically about this on my channel homepage that you can search for. It's not that complicated. If you're selling, baseball bats that hit more home runs, it's looking to hit more home runs. This baseball bat hits way more home runs than all the competitors. And here's why. And then you show some videos of home runs being hit. And then reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, competitors can't do it because of reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. It's not that complicated. You just have to get to the point about what the hell it is that you're trying to communicate and why now. And you condense it down, or you have a video that looks like a customer talking about your product. I love this baseball bat that I bought because I hit so many home runs with it now. And you run that angle with it. We're normally called UGC ads. For the most part though, if you want to start with the one thing that's going to make the most, you just target your competitors' audiences. If you are a e-commerce company or selling product, and for services, you're going to target people who have searched the buying terms. buy fractional CFO services and the like, and you target them and you say why they should do business with you. And if not for a free consultation, but you're offering them, here's the 27 ways that why you need a fractional CFO company to not get frauded by your employees or what have you. And you do research on what it is that's going to granularly get them to respond by doing surveys and so forth, and you put that content together and then you put it into a video, drive them to a landing page, and then you call them when they start reading it in a couple minutes after they download that ebook or whatever. So with that said, that's YouTube. And then now demand gen campaigns are campaigns that you are going to be able to run on YouTube and Gmail that are more like a text ad. You could technically run videos there with those now. But with that, it's a lot of the same stuff that I just talked about with the YouTube campaigns. And for that matter, a lot of people, they're not sure about where to run ads outside of search engines. For, almost always you have a decision to go between Facebook or YouTube or these demand gen campaigns first, because it has these websites that you advertise on have the best quality traffic. Display network is hard to make money on because there's a lot of bot traffic on there. And display network should be the last thing that you do. But as far as demand gen campaigns, it's very much similar to everything I just talked about on YouTube in order to make money. For that matter, this video would go on for hours if I were to talk about all the stuff that you would need in regards to YouTube to make money, even, or these demand gen campaigns and have all the small details. So therefore, you should, if you want to really make this work, subscribe to this channel because I talk about these campaigns all the time. Very few people talk about them, or if they do, it's very surface level. I've got 20 years of advertising experience, and I've been running these campaigns, dozens of them. I've run dozens of them now with the 50 to 100 clients that we have. And they just work all the time because we understand the fundamentals to get them to work, and you can make way more money doing them than you can running a simple search ads in half or more of the markets, because search ads are limited. Shopping ads are limited by themselves. So you should subscribe to this channel if you're serious about making real money with ads online. Furthermore, you should check out my blog on my site at guaranteedppc.com/blog. My blog has step-by-step instructions on how to use the strategies we're using at our firm to guarantee results for our clients. And so if you like the channel, you're going to really love that blog as well. You should check that out. It's my personal blog that I write there as well. It has a lot of strategies there with screenshots, with everything you would need to actually do the stuff that we literally guarantee results for clients at our firm. And then furthermore, by the way, a lot of this stuff is, it takes a while to really understand the basics behind everything and just understanding how to make a good video ad with all the fixings and everything else. If you want to actually get that all done and have someone guarantee the results, you can reach out to our firm and we'll do exactly that. Assuming you have a product or service that we know can sell with the right advertising. Because if you came to me with a turd and told me, hey, I got to sell this with my advertising skills, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I don't know how to do that. But if you got a great product or service, you can come to us, we'll do it, certainly, and we'll guarantee results. So you can reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you about the opportunity of doing it. We also sell ad templates. If you already have if you're in a market that we've already worked in, we could literally sell you the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates, all of it that works for your niche market, and you copy paste those into your ad account and get the same results we have with none of the time, money, and effort it took for us to figure out how to run those ads that way, in particular in your market in a different city, country, or state. So, and with that said, as long as you're not competing with our current client, you can use them. It's way better to buy the template, because even though we charge, not thousands of dollars for the template, the campaign's turnkey and it makes money right away. You're going to waste tons more money figuring out all that same stuff for yourself. So if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I've worked in over 100 different niche markets individually, so the chances are quite high we've got the results you're looking for. Or if you're looking to start a business from scratch, starting with one of the templates we have is like the easiest way to start that business, which we've had several people do that exact thing as well. So with that said, though, in terms of talking about demand gen campaigns, by the way, are basically just as profitable as YouTube campaigns, because you're getting on the same website and you're getting in front of, therefore, quality users, and you could target the same exact people. So you literally could target people who've been to your competitor's website with a custom intent audience and use that via your YouTube and demand gen campaign. So therefore, everything I talked about on YouTube really does apply to demand gen campaigns. Except for there are some unique differences. That is, you can run similar audiences to where, with YouTube, you can't have the algorithm look at the traffic that's been on your website and see the traits of all those people, and then help you get in front of people that are like them. With demand gen campaigns, you can. It makes it unique. That's the main thing that's different about it. What you can do with that versus what you can do on YouTube. With the demand gen, if you're going to make money right away, I just recommend sticking to custom intent audiences. As I mentioned, just targeting the competitors who've been to your competitor's website. In the custom intent audiences, you could tell Google, I want to target people that either searched for these keywords before or been to this website. And I love the this website one because we can put our competitor's website in there itself. Or we indicate, we know if they go to this website, they're a perfect prospect for us, so we want to market to them. And then, the ad, you still got to have a good offer to make this work, even if you do target your competitors who are highly likely to do business with you or somebody else in your market at that time because they went to that competitor's website. You still got to have an offer. If you're offering church glass repair, ultimately, saying we do church glass repair, certainly it's not enough because they already know 3 other companies that do this already. Who gives a shit? Here's a way to actually not have to hire a church glass repair company at all using these 3 steps. And of course, they don't apply to those 3 steps, but you got their information now. Now you can call them. Now you can have a conversation with them, and then you can turn them into a client. One of my favorite ways of monetizing traffic outside of the search engines is just offering information and then calling the people as soon as they download it and say, hey, Jim, very happy that you downloaded my ebook. I'm a church glass expert. If you have any questions about church glass, let me know. But why do you even have broken glass in the first place, Jim? And then just let them start talking. And then once they start talking, the longer you can get them talking, the more likely they're going to do business with you. That's a great, great, great sales funnel model for running ads on demand gen campaigns, also YouTube and even demand display network. But anyway, if you can't target your competitors because you don't have any, you could do, as the second most profitable thing that's going to make money the soonest, is buying terms. Like I mentioned before with YouTube campaigns, you target people who have searched for that, like church glass repair companies, church glass repair services, and then you target those people versus people that have been to your competitor's website directly. The reason why the competitor audiences will work better is because the likelihood that somebody who's been to your competitor's website is going to be a customer is higher than somebody who searched for companies that do that particular product or service. A lot of people don't realize it, and they don't, I've had, frankly, it's dumb questions. So I don't care if throwing people under the bus here, technically. But, I've had people that say 5% of traffic that came to my site here had turned into a lead. What the hell is wrong with the other 95%? I do take for granted, I know a lot, and people that are getting into advertising for the first time don't know what they don't know. But they just automatically assume every single person who searches for, let's say, custom tables, that they're just a buyer. There's a shitload of those people who will never buy anything. They're just tire kickers. It's like saying at a car lot, every single person who goes there is a buyer. They the hell are not all buyers. Who the hell thought of this, where every single person who searches for something online is a buyer? I mean, the reality is when somebody's looking for a custom table for something like that, you got like 10% or 15, 20% that are buyers. And the rest of them are just, they're bored or they're thinking about it or it's an aspirational item or whatever. You're paying for a lot of tire kickers ultimately at the end of the day. Now, if they're searching for broken toilet repair at 2 a.m., yeah, 98% of those people are buyers. That's a different story. So for that matter, but you may say the same thing about people going to the competitor's website. And the reality is though, the competitor probably got a lot of referrals, a buyer. So at least the ratio of people that go to that website is going to be a lot higher ratio of buyers to non-buyers because they got referral traffic. You got people coming back to buy again. That could be good repeat customers. And therefore you would want to target the competitor's traffic first if you've got competitors that are direct competitors to your business. And then finally, associated search. So for this itself here, what we're talking about, you could, like I mentioned before with the CFO company, you could target people that if you're trying to sell outsourced CFO services, fractional CFO services where you hire a CFO one day a month to go through your stuff, make suggestions to you and whatnot, that you target people that are trying to prevent embezzlement in their company, knowing the people who want to sniff out embezzlement hire CFO services, but the people that are looking to prevent embezzlement don't know about fractional CFO services, and then you target those people exclusively, which is what we've done in this space before. And it worked very, very, very well. This is a perfect example of what I talk about as associated search here itself as well. You could go, it's basically taking what your product or service does, looking at what it solves, what problems it solves, and then targeting people who are looking for answers of those particular problems. A lot of people don't know that you can get a functional medicine doctor to fix your elbow pain. They don't know it, even though they can. So you target people that have elbow pain and looking for solutions to that itself, which, you don't, when you do that, by the way, you don't have to just go for people, go after people with demand gen and YouTube campaigns. I love doing that on Google search itself as well. And if it's a wide enough problem, I'm going to run YouTube ads as well saying, did you know you can get rid of elbow pain by doing XYZ? It's a brand new trend. Then you drive them to an article, what we call an article style lander. Now you read it, it says, the best way to get, this particular solution is to go to this specific company in the article somewhere, and you got a now qualified buyer that was totally unaware of your solution for their particular problem. Anyway, with that said, all of this is great and everything. I know you're saying, well, it sounds great, but I only have so much time, / I don't know if it will work for me. What I encourage you to do is reach out to me at my agency and at least do a 30-minute coaching call with me, and I can go through all of your stuff and let you know, is everything I talked to you about here right for you, or to give you even more precise information so you make money even sooner with your starting ad budget. If you can't afford to hire an ad agency, the 30-minute coaching session will give you at least the information you need. So instead of having to spend $5,000 to hit profitability, you hit it after $1,000. You hit the ground running quicker. So with that said, I do also offer 30-minute coaching sessions where I go through your entire funnel, your sales process, ask you a bunch of questions, and I can tell you what to do. Or if you're stuck where you're at, your ads are not working, I can tell you basically why they're not working in that 30 minutes time. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at my firm as well at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, if you have any questions about anything I covered here, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. With that said, I'm pretty much going to wrap it up with that. Hopefully this makes a lot of sense. Data is the king when it comes to ads. And if you don't want to die before you get to the minimum data that you need to be profitable, you need to start out with targeting less. And the stuff that's most profitable to target, you should target first. And I gave you the stuff that's typically most profitable to target with each campaign type that you can run. So with that said, good luck with making your millions, and I'm out.
Remember when I said Google Ads was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.